All right, well, so after that, I'll call the May 12th. Let's say it's good to be back. 2025,
The good news is,
6 o'clock, the National Water Board meeting. And we're at the community hall. Adjustments to the agenda. Not hearing any approval of the minutes.
I have one minor correction on the minutes.
Okay,
Item 13B. Towards the end of it where it says Sean Fielder approved the Negley and Chase Pay Rec. It was actually Jonathan Harris that approved it. And I might not have been 100% clear the
okay,
last meeting, but
it's gonna be Jonathan.
Jonathan Harris. It doesn't matter. They're both gone from USDA now, but
Okay. Thank you.
other than that, I will motion to approve the minutes.
No second.
all right, any discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Uh, It's approved, the approval of the warrant, May 12th, 2025.
Well, I'd like to propose a motion to approve two warrants, one for Fund 21, amount of 22,436.50, and Fund 22, 11,056.05.
I'll second.
Discussion. Hearing any, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any nays? No nays, passes. The balance sheet is just
FYI, yeah.
balance sheet and everything, looking on track. You see anything that stood out? So
Any concerns?
Student for me.
everything's good. Excellent. All right. And we'll continue on recognition of visitors, Kevin. Do you have anybody else coming or
No,
you're by yourself?
I
Okay.
thought we might have one or two join, but I told them if they'd like to, but I didn't think it was necessary for everybody to show up, especially if it's true they're still in Florida.
Yeah, there you go. All right, just give us a quick brief, how many on your, development, how many feet of pipe, how big's the pipe?
There's 6 homes on this particular 4-inch pipe that's coming down.
Six,
6,
okay. And they're all hooked up?
they're all hooked up.
So that was one question, Kevin, I gave Kevin the list, and the one at the end was not hooked up, or we don't have them as being hooked up.
I need to tell you,
I don't know. I don't-
the end of the road, no, he's,
Okay, Kevin was gonna look into that,
I'm
because they're.
pretty sure he's hooked up.
So if he's not, that's still five.
If he may have waited till this spring or last spring, I think I'm sure he's hooked up.
Okay, Kevin and I talked about it today, and he was gonna check.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have no billing for you?
Oh, no billing, no.
Okay, so you take care of that following, thank you. A 4-inch pipe,
4-inch pipe, yes.
and you know about how many feet?
Oh, 12 to 1,500, somewhere in that neighborhood, should be on the plans there. When we put it in,
Did you submit plans to us or?
not today because of. I didn't think we had to because we did when we put it in.
Yeah, we'll need a copy, to look at when we vote on it and to, have our water, gentleman, Kevin, look it over into this. If you got the engineering part,
We had the engineering done by Jay Berman.
yeah,
And Kevin was there quite a lot to
Mhm.
make sure it was done to the town specs.
And when was this put in?
I think it was 2022.
Yeah, 22. Okay, so that's recent. I think I remember. Going over that stuff.
Might be 2023, but
Time flies.
I'm sorry.
I said time flies.
Yeah, it
It was
does.
probably 2021.
Yeah, probably, right.
Just keep, if it was 2023, it has to be in service at least 2 years before we can take it over. So we probably want to verify when it was put in.
Okay,
Yeah,
Oh.
we did. We looked up
Yeah.
when the connections were and they were in 2022.
Okay,
You said-
we're fine.
yeah.
That's why we said.
Yeah.
Do we have a list of the requirements in here somewhere?
I
What did you
printed one out for myself if you want to refer to it.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, minimum 4 inches, 5 users. We'll have to look over the deed access. Is there any, there's no sections away from the road through fields or any of that?
No, it's right in the right of way.
Okay, good. And no squabbling over the right of way, it's,
Well, not yet.
I hear you. Everybody's gonna agree to give it over,
Yeah.
okay,
They all have.
Yeah, the easements are all in the packet.
I saw a bunch in there. Must be water
They all
bill.
had it. Notified.
It's,
Notice. That's what I want to say.
Yep, label fields, provide sign. All right, so I would say at this point, we just need to get a copy of it again and look at it.
Okay.
And, get Kevin's input one more time, and then we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Should I, or will you have that from Kevin, or you want me to pull up a map? of
I'm
it?
thinking we probably have it, it's so recent, we must have it on file somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking to see when, I'm going through the agendas, because it may have been in your
I
packet.
think it was in a package a couple of months ago, month ago, two.
So why don't we do this? We believe we can find it at this point, so if you don't hear from us looking for it,
Okay.
that means we have it.
You have it, okay.
And in the meantime, if we have any questions, it more than likely will be our water plant operator, Kevin, that'll get a hold of you.
I know Kevin well.
Yeah.
And we spent a few hours together putting that in.
Yeah, there you go. So. Further questions by the board, and easements, let's make sure, were they,
Yeah, there's 6 easements as part of our packet.
Yeah, they're all in here.
so. I think we have to see those. Easements on the. Plot or something, what did we do last time? I guess we're gonna have to look back.
Yeah, I'll have to look at.
To see if there has to be any updating to your drawings for the easement. Now, is Jay still working? I haven't
Yes.
seen anything from him.
I saw
Dave
this-
Yerman, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw him this morning, or yesterday,
okay,
out in the field. They were digging. Oh, it was this morning up, I think it was up on, in Grand Isle, it was on
yes,
Pearl Street.
I just haven't seen a project from him come in front of us for a while. So yeah, I would think that's the only thing, we need to follow up, to see if they have to be labeled on there. Pretty sure they do.
I think we have to show the easement. Or maybe just a note, 25-foot easement.
I may have that,
Yeah.
drawing at home that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm short distance away out home, and if I got it, I'll bring it back down.
Well, it's not a big deal, we'll need it before the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Just, yeah, what if you just get it to Kevin?
Okay,
in the next few days.
I'll make contact with Kevin as
Yeah.
well to make
Yeah,
sure
perfect.
he's got it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess I could get Jay to produce another one.
Yeah. you have to.
So, all right, anything else? Nope.
Appreciate your time.
All right, Kevin, take care.
Would you like me to come back next month, or you just need the drawing, or?
I think it would be good to show up next month,
Okay.
and we'll get you up at the top of the agenda.
Okay,
And that way,
sure.
if we do have questions, we
Okay,
can go from there.
all right, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Okay. So it seems that was just done. It seems like everything could be in order.
Yeah,
That's my only concern would be, one, the missing individual possible at the end. And two, the presentation of the easement. And I just looked through this, are these the easements that we wrote up as a,
Yeah.
A
that's part of
town
it,
one.
yes. Mhm. There,
So they're
that's what I
just
gave them.
yeah.
Mhm. So it was on the September 2021 agenda. Bob Jones came. in.
2021.
Yeah, and then they did you approved it, and then they did the work, and they didn't connect until 2022,
All right.
so.
well, it sounds like it meets the 2 year.
Yeah.
All right, if there's nothing else there, I'm gonna move on. Water storage tank project online discussion. I
Yeah.
heard it was like a month ahead. So.
No, that's not true. At least officially, the schedule's still good. I talked to Jim Maloney this morning from Egley and Chase. Everything's been purchased, their subcontract agreements have all been executed. Aquastor is moving along on fabrication. Everything, he's thinking maybe they can get started a little ahead of the schedule, but worst case is the schedule is still good, so would mean them mobilizing around the beginning of August and being complete by the end of November.
Okay, and was Kevin happy with all the questions he had about the system communicating back and forth?
Yeah, I think so. Have you talked to Kevin lately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the break with him the other day and he said, it's
So he's
pretty
good.
sure it's gonna happen just fine.
Okay, because he was a little
Yeah.
concerned over the interface.
And that's gonna involve the computer that's coming up later.
Okay. All right, so that is discussion timeline, everything's on. Cost summary, Andy.
Yeah, there's I gotta find it now. There's a new format. Which actually it's what the USDA had asked for. Oh, it's right after the schedule. It's page 43. Oh, 45. Yeah, actually, I decided this was better than the one that I had been presenting each month. So this is what the USDA required. And it also, the state is happy with this one as far as our loan goes. So it shows the, cost to date down at the bottom. It shows our funding sources.
Oh, the funding. So.
And again, this is just the water storage tank. It's not phase two.
Mhm. And so. Remind me, I saw some note. Well, I guess we can wait to get to that. I guess that's the next one, the DWS RF approval letter.
Yep.
Did they really give us 1.8 mil at 0%?
That's how I read it.
Yeah, I didn't completely read
Well.
it that way. I saw that they said as approved by something else.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure. I think what I'm saying is we need follow-up there, because
Yeah.
they're approving us the ability to borrow 1.8.
Right,
But are we gonna get the 1.8, all of that at the special rate? Because the wording said the check in regards to something, which I believe was the letter that identified how much money we
Yeah.
would get for 0%. So I put those two together
Mhm.
and it was like, I wasn't sure.
yeah, well, and I'm not 100% sure either, but it sounds like, the loan agreement is gonna be finalized very quickly now.
So I think if we could follow up.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
because my next question would be, if that's true. Instead of that applicant contribution of 246,753. Is that some percentage? Amount that we have to do, or could we take it and roll it into that DWSRF?
I think we could roll it in there, the way I read it, if they're actually gonna, let us borrow up to 1.8 million.
I think they're gonna let us borrow 1.8, but how much of that
Yeah.
is the 0%? Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so we still need to clarify that. But then the question is, how, we're obviously not gonna borrow the whole 1.8 in any event, because we don't need that much. But are we gonna borrow everything so that we don't use any of our
no,
reserve funds? So, we've got a decision to make there.
but keep in mind, the gentleman down here will tell you, yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Cause he wants the interest on all that stuff and we don't have to pay them
Right.
any
Ah,
interest.
don't
So
disagree.
if you're a finance individual, you'd say, hell yeah.
Yeah,
That puts you even in a more solvent position that now generates
Mhm.
income that you don't
We'll
have.
pay off the
otherwise.
existing debt if that's possible.
We would just be a strange committee that would have a lot
No,
of money.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Once we've borrowed it, it goes into our 20% match, right? So.
Yeah, that's part of our money.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I say, let's get the 0% stuff and
as
spend
much of it as we can, as we need.
all the 0% stuff we can.
Well, yeah, but, because even if we're getting 4 or 5%, 4 or 5% of $1 million adds up.
Well, if we're getting 2%, it doesn't matter as long as we're making interest.
Yeah,
Hang on to it.
I think if we can pay off the other debt, that's the way to go,
Right,
well,
right?
Right.
we
And
need
if
to
there's
be,
any left over, you can invest it, but pay
absolutely.
off the debt.
we need to be a little careful with the way USDA approved it, because we're telling them we're taking X number of dollars out of our capital fund. And we're borrowing 900 and whatever it is, 934,000 for the state.
Mhm.
We'll have to make sure that they don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so,
So yeah, there's still some work to do
so
there.
you're gonna,
I'll follow up. I was waiting to see what the final loan agreement looked like. but-
yeah,
Yeah.
so let's follow up.
Yeah.
If that truly means 0%.
Yeah,
And, it would probably be good to go back and get that letter. I'm sure Lisa has it somewhere when we were awarded it.
yeah.
And
Is that this one, Larry? This letter serves as notification in the town of heroes above reference loan, and then it has the grid?
is it in here? And
No.
so this is. The letter says that, any amount of money has been fully processed. Adopted. Please note the project qualifies for additional subsidies in the form of a loan principal forgiveness as outlined in our 2022 intent use plan. Now, I'm not sure what that means because we didn't have a loan forgiveness. But that may be for the engineering. There was some for loan forgiveness, right?
But this is what we just got a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yep, there's two categories. So the top one is the 100,000 and the 30,000 of it they're willing to forgive if we do it The way this has worked in the past,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, so the
Yep.
loan amount, 100.
and you're probably right, that number, it's probably related to some type of engineering, probably the final.
Yeah, so I think the engineering is and then, but it doesn't mention
Then this-
interest rate.
No, it does not anywhere. I just read it
Yeah.
again twice.
So we need to go back and grab that letter before that shows where we're at 0%. And maybe it wasn't a letter, maybe it was just the list from the state on
Hmm.
all of them and who was approved.
Yeah, I think that's all we got previously.
I don't remember that one. I remember this one.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, I think that's engineering, which I
Yeah.
forget. Which is good.
Okay, we'll take the 30 grand.
All right, so, Andy, you're gonna follow
I
up
will follow up on that, yes.
on the two things. Follow up first on the, DWSRF.
Yep.
And if they say it's a go, then the second thing is to follow up with the USDA.
USDA, yeah.
Questions? We on the right path? We good?
I would just say, I'd love to see it if whatever we have from them, maybe it's in one of the previous packages, but just in terms of the terms of what we were asking for.
I don't think we've actually seen anything directly to us. I think Larry's right. We were on that
And
master
if it's a
list.
drinking water fund and
Yeah.
the only thing we do is drinking water, then maybe we can pay off that debt.
Yeah.
It's specifically for construction, construction of
Yeah,
the projects specifically and only, then that's a different thing, but.
yeah. Well, we'll have to see the loan agreement to know all those details. Okay, I'll follow up.
All right, so, well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Revolving loan fund award, I guess that's.
So that is the email that was in your packet that Corinne just showed you.
What page? is-
Um,
Oh, the one that I just read.
The one, yeah, that Corinne had brought up, it's in the packet. On page 42.
42.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
No, is, so they're gonna send us something to sign or,
Yeah, it goes to the Vermont Bond Bank, and
okay,
when the paperwork's ready, it said 4 to 6 weeks, there'll be the loan documentation that will need to be signed.
okay. All right. So let's try to track that other paperwork down and maybe it's as easy as you asking Jason. Andy.
Yeah,
for a copy.
Hopefully I can talk to Jason. He's serving jury duty right now,
So
so.
there you go. So it should be under the thepriority list.
Yeah,
And it would be good to get a copy of that so we can put in our records in case. In case a 0% goes away or
Yeah,
something, we got
okay.
documentation.
Lisa, would you be able to put your hands on the existing loan documentation for the existing loans?
I'm
To
sure
see
we
if there's
have
any
it.
prepayment penalties or.
Yeah, I can look that up.
Oh, yeah, because it should be on here somewhere, we'll do.
I mean, even if the bonds have been out there for a while, if we retire those, that's great, but I don't know what the language says in the original loan agreement, so. If there's any prepayment penalty or unable to prepay.
On the old bonds, yeah, there's no prepayment penalty.
so then it's just a question of whether this loan will allow us to pay off some old loans.
Well, no, that's, you're looking at it wrong.
Okay,
Because we're gonna use this loan to pay for whatever we can. We're not gonna use we can't use the loan specifically
yeah,
to pay
I
those
got
off,
it, yeah,
but we can take out of the
yeah,
piggy.
yeah, okay, got it,
Instead,
got
yeah.
it,
It's the other pocket.
yeah,
Which is the same thing.
sure, yeah,
Just,
I got it.
We're not really the same thing, but revolving loan fund award, okay, so Town of North Hero. ST and BPS project. Step executed, what page are we looking at?
So that's the amendment that was approved. And that's, page 33.
Page 33.
Mm.
All right, now let's go to page 33.
So it's amendment number 2 that was submitted by Alderton Elliott.
And what is this? Andy, maybe you can. It's page 33. Identifies total 133.
I think it's an amendment to the, owner to engineer agreement for what they had to add in. for the
Yes, it's
USDA
exactly
grant.
right, yeah.
So
And a lot of that's a result of us getting the USDA funding, which required more engineering effort.
okay,
So it's now the state's approving that as part of the overall project cost.
all right. Revolving loan fund award letter.
That's the email.
That's the one we looked at, left for water storage tank schedule.
We just talked about
About
that.
that USDA monthly report to May.
That's the one we looked at, that's our new cost summary.
Phase 2 US Route 2 water line replacement, 30% needing.
All yours, my friend.
Brian.
Yeah, we're meeting,
May
next Monday,
18th,
no,
19.
to 19th. I
think.
I thought I saw the 18th.
Are you meeting here?
She said in person, so I don't know, I got a link to it.
I just will put it on the calendar and reserve the space for you.
It'll probably happen here,
What time? Ellen?
11 AM, 11 to 12. Inviting us. Well, like me, Doug Castle, Kevin, Mallory Duncan, and Nate Peon.
And I'll be here, Brian.
Good,
And what time? 11?
yeah,
And it's May 19th. Where did I see 18th?
it's a week from today. Do you have that link? What you sent? As we're gonna need to record it, no?
Not this. Mm.
There's just two of you.
Okay, we don't need to record
And you're not holding the meeting, somebody else is holding, Aldrin
it.
Melly.
Right, it's just,
You're just attending it.
it's informational for us. Well, very informational, because I'm gonna know if they've really earned their 30%.
I'll just warn it.
So that would be great if you could show up.
Yeah. So May 19th.
Yep.
7 o'clock.
And we should be getting an update, not just on where they are as the design, but that's be a good time to discuss any methodology change questions we have.
Yeah, so if you warn it, that was gonna be
Well, if I put in person. Oh, but then you
I
have to
don't think
record
it
it.
needs to be,
You can still record it with the,
There's nothing gonna be decided at the
I don't
meeting.
think
You
it
don't let
needs
anything
to be warned, we're just getting a briefing.
It's what it is. It's a briefing.
Thoughts? Corinne, you get that one?
yeah, no, I,
You're
I
missing something?
don't know.
The new open meeting. laws
Yeah,
are
that's-
Pretty confusing.
Yeah,
It's,
it doesn't,
No
it
longer-
doesn't allow work sessions.
it doesn't, yeah.
yeah.
Two members are not allowed anymore to,
A work session
yeah,
versus
Pretty much any discussion of town business needs to be warned.
Even if it's not a quorum.
Warn it in person. And just put 30% review.
and then anybody who comes who wants to. You don't have
Yeah.
to- That's more than anyway.
So now I could come, right? If
Yeah,
I wanted to.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, if we want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want it, then
Well, and
we could all
if you'll
come.
have me.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna have you.
Okay. No, I'd be interested in, it's gonna be an official meeting, I'll come.
That gives us time to do it, right? We've got 7 days.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
don't need-
plenty of time. It's a
you only-
special
You only
meeting,
need
so
40, yeah,
The,
24
24
hours.
hours, so
The original email that I sent to you about.
had it in there,
Hmm?
had it in there, the Zoom.
It didn't have the Zoom stuff, so I'll forward you the Zoom one. Why don't you forward me back that original one, because
Okay,
I can't find it.
okay. Okay.
All right, so. What is that, US two, and, okay, is. Well, I'll ask them, SOS report, anything there? Spring flushing is going on. or
He
anything?
finished.
It's, yeah, he got done with the flushing. We had another break on Abnaki.
Yeah.
Typical. Break, a little bit larger around on the,
He sent me pictures. I was his first contact, and then he realized I was in Germany and that I wasn't gonna be much use.
yep,
So they took care of it. It looked like that went as planned and,
yeah, that went, it was very easy. Click, click, we had it fixed in 2 hours.
And how many breaks have we now had on Abnaki Road over the years? Quite a few.
5.
Yeah,
5 in the last.
for
3 or
a pretty
4
short
years.
run of pipe.
Yeah, well, that should go on the list of places where it looks
that's
like
what
the
I-
soils are eroding the pipe.
Yeah.
And they're all the same break, same.
Same type.
and it happened after a flushing.
Yes,
All right, computer replacement update.
yeah. Looks like this Lenovo ThinkPad E16 is gonna do the trick. I think we need to approve the purchase of that. tonight.
This is the,
I think we already did. didn't we?
so he got one today.
The
One was
laptop.
shipped, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that this one?
yeah.
Or is this the
Okay,
other
so
one?
it's already happened.
It's already happened. You approved it last time for
Yeah.
him to purchase it and it was shipped today and received today. I mean, it shipped and came in today.
So this is the laptop. He still needs another computer,
Yes.
which we're going to make part of the project.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Pacific Loss Control visit. Update. Was there a visit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah.
put the new links in.
Yeah, he gave us an update last month. I don't
Yes.
know if he's anything further since then.
He took care of everything on their list.
Yeah, it was just 2 or 3.
Yep.
Thanks.
They were minor.
Okay, so we can consider that, annual update to the service line inventory and submission to DEC. So Lisa asked me about this one. I don't think we need a submission to the DEC, but I think the intent was after we spent the money doing all that stuff was to have them keep it up to date of what we have.
Yes, that management plan.
And service line inventory. I think both, but this is specifically was the service line inventory.
Yeah, so. And what triggered that? For you to,
I had it on my calendar from last year.
Ah,
So last May,
yeah.
he submitted it to the state and I think you told me,
Yeah.
let's follow up in a year. So it's on my calendar every May to,
excellent, so we should. Instruct him to make sure he updates it. I think that's why the board wanted to have it there on the calendar. Because otherwise, if you let it go, then. The plan. Is as good as the last date that you looked at it. And I guess. Does he submit to, update it then?
Yeah, he just emails him.
Okay. All right, then let's keep this on for next month.
Yep, I'll follow up with Kevin on that.
VC3 laptop quote. Thought we gave them like between X and X amount of dollars or something, and we talked about if it could go on the, water storage.
I don't, this laptop was never gonna be part of the project. It was the other, the big computer,
The big computer, so their laptop was,
you know, replacement.
It was just time to replace that
Right,
one.
yeah.
okay, and did we get a quote on it that we need to look at? Or-
I think that's the actual quote. I think you approved last
Yeah.
night for him to spend up to,
And that's.
and then this is the actual quote that finally came through,
And he has the computer now.
and he has the computer,
Okay.
yes.
The quote was within.
It was within the quote,
Yeah.
it was within, so, yeah, he ordered it and
Okay,
it came in.
good. Water credit supervisor report.
Yes, so we start the disconnect process in after May 20th. It looks like we're gonna, right, as of Friday, we had about 15 pink letters that will go out. We'll see,
The same.
it's the same, yep.
um,
So
The usual
the
suspects.
usual suspect.
Yes, okay, so that's going good. Water allocation letter, I signed that one?
You signed this one, 209 Old West Shore Road, but I wanted to bring this to your attention because, one that you signed it. This property has a camp that they've just added a bedroom and a bathroom onto. And they've just built another garage that's going to have living quarters upstairs with a bedroom and a kitchen.
Yeah.
And according to Jay's email, when he requested this, he said, existing residents in detached cottage currently have a town water service. We're planning to extend a water service to a new barn currently under construction, teeing into the existing on-site service line, no new connection to the water main. There'll be no change from the current water demand.
I don't know about that, no change to the water demand, because he's basically adding an apartment there.
This consists of a 3-bedroom residence, 360 gallons per day, and a 1-bedroom cottage, 140 gallons per day, for a total of 500 gallons per day.
So, 500 gallons, so that's more than
We base it on 300, right?
yeah, so 30 something.
We say an ERU, an average ERU is 300 gallons a day. I think that's what we use.
So, we've done these before. What do we usually charge? Can we look back in history?
Yeah, we did a point, instead of one, we went
1.25 or 1.5 or what, I think it depends on specifically.
I know Greenpoint Road, when they added that garage and with the bathroom in it,
yeah, I'm
That
trying
was
to remember what the number
1.33.
was, so,
0.33 is what.
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
8.3,
Yeah,
that makes sense. And we don't use fixture units, so we can only go on GPD.
Yeah,
So I think we'll have to do something similar for this.
so I think we send them a letter that says with your new configuration, there'll be an adjustment to your bill. It will be 1.3.
1.33.
And that's after the project is completed.
Yeah.
And any questions, you're welcome to attend the meeting. Does that sound?
Mhm.
Get that look, you thinking of doing that?
I'm always thinking.
I've had no responses from any of the preferred contractors.
Oh, geez.
No,
None. Usually, Mike is usually right on it, but I didn't get anything. So it's time to do the fiscal 25-26 billing. So, in your packet, you have the usual insert that gets mailed in. It was out. I took off Rob's name and put Frank's on it. Was really the only change to the North Euro Water Board, page 51 in your packet. So that was the only change I made there, and then you've got the Consumer Confidence Report for 2024. And the only changes, we added the wording for the USDA grant at the end of the report. Page 55 on the bottom.
Okay.
So that was wording that needed to go on for the grant.
That was approved by Sean Coleman before he left, so.
Okay, good.
Sean Fielder,
Thank you.
John Coleman was there.
Totally different group.
Yep, different John.
So CCR is ready to go out now.
CCR is ready to go out, yep. And the rates, I have the motion from back in. We have the motion,
Went up around 3%, if I recall. Yeah.
yep. From October of 2024. Frank made the motion, 3.5% user fee increase from 670 to 693 and 920 to 950.
Okay,
And that's what we're going with.
any discussion on that? then?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Putting that out.
And the inactive account, that that house on US Route 2 that looks like needs to be torn down just before Lipizan Lane.
Yeah.
On the left, heading south,
Yeah.
that was sold. So Evan Potvin owned it and every year submitted a request to not have any billing. It was sold and I've sent her 2 letters asking her to, she doesn't want billing to request, but she hasn't responded. So I don't know what,
So it's sold,
Well, if we haven't responded, then we'll have to build that the new owner.
I mean, it's not. It's still, they haven't done anything with the property.
I know. but
Anybody
we
living there?
request Every year,
No,
I don't think you could.
yeah,
right? And we have to have a request to suspend billing every year and then vote on it. And they haven't responded yet.
so, send them a third one
A third letter.
and tell them that, if we don't hear from you, by, give them 30 days or something. You start being billed for water. Questions? Please
Yeah.
contact us. Does that sound reasonable enough to?
Yeah, 3 letters,
I
seems
mean,
like we're
3
doing
letters.
as much as we can. This third letter should,
How long ago did it switch in? A couple, 3 months?
Yeah, it's been a few months.
Okay. Yes, it's. You initially buy, there's a bunch of things going on, so.
yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I have nothing.
Enacted allocation letter.
Yeah, those are just the attachments. It shows up on the agenda. So that was the letter
Okay,
that you sign and then the annual notice and then the CCR. Those are just the attachments.
okay, full discussion, action items, spring, summer, work projects. Ideas, guys?
For spring, summer work project,
Yeah.
yeah, coordinate with our builders and get the water things through.
Yeah, okay.
I can't think of anything that we know of that requires doing, that is not doing now. And just this normal stuff, so.
Is there any more valve repair or anything that needs attention or?
He's got one that he's working on now. It just needs a new actuating rod. He's just waiting till he has 2 or 3 digs to do them all together.
there's a few areas that need pavement patches, which I think
Pavement
Tracy's
patching has
gonna
gotta
do.
happen, and, yeah,
Yeah, the one right out here.
Yeah.
The big
Yeah, there's a few others
And the one
around.
down there
town.
that I was going to and
Yeah.
slammed my front tire.
Yeah, there are a few, and Dennis is aware of that when he's gonna supposedly just top that up this week.
this
And
week.
I talked to Tracy and he's coordinating, trying to do a bunch of repairs through town at the same time.
Mhm.
And that's number one on his list.
Okay,
So, balls in town manager. And on that. What was he called? What's Tracy's job time?
Well, if you look at his new jacket, he's the maintenance department, but he's actually the public works
Public
foreman.
Works Foreman, that's it. Public Works Foreman has been advised of that, and it's on their list.
good. So therefore it's off our shoulders. Discussion of disbursement, and requirements for grant funding. Anything that needs to be,
Yeah, just real quickly, NBRC, I believe that we're about ready to submit our first request. Because we've got billings on phase two. Start submitting to NBRC. USDA, we seem to be fine. Sean left, gave us the new contact, that person. We've exchanged email. She's been approving what she needs to. I actually talked to her on the phone today, so I think as of now, we have not missed a beat with USDA. Although she still could not give me a 100% assurance that the money's there. But she was pretty confident. So I think we're fine with USDA. And then CRRP, I think we just submitted or about to submit our second request for
Yep.
reimbursement.
That was submitted and the total will be $34,404.18 is what we're waiting for.
See if they're getting used to it like we hoped.
And the attachments, I think USDA has now approved both of the monthly reports. Didn't she just,
did she
maybe
say
just
that?
the first one, yeah.
Using that
Okay,
new
so
form.
she approved the zero was the draft. and then
Right.
She approved April
Which is one.
1.
Okay,
yes,
so yeah, so she's approved both
yeah.
of those.
And we have 2 ready to go
Yeah,
after this month's.
and you're happy to what way that's flowing from the audit shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And the other quick question on the, the payment schedule for the vendors, construction company and the tank people.
Yep.
Are those made at like different, like specific dates or times associated with delivery schedules or?
yes, yeah, it's just based on when the work's complete. In the case, that first invoice we got from Negley and Chase, most of that was went to Aquastor on the tank to get started on manufacturing. And then I think there was an item for their bond and insurance. I did talk to Jim Maloney this morning. Of course, we did not have an invoice for the month of April. He's not expecting we'll have one for May either. Next one probably will be for June.
And nothing that necessarily aligns with this. Right? With the
No,
mile-
you
with the
can't
milestones
directly
on
align,
this,
no.
right? Yeah.
Although you can see that 3 to 4 months between August and November is gonna be the biggest chunk of it.
all right, anything else? So
Nothing for
financial,
grants? Nothing?
financial report, Northville CD investments, right?
Yes, so we have a CD coming due Thursday and then 3 others at the end of the month. We can continue on the 1-month roll. I certainly would like to continue that and propose that we do. I think keep voting on it every meeting.
That's fine. What's the interest rate right now?
I want to say it's like 4.30 or something somewhere.
Still good, yeah.
3.84, I think, last
Okay.
week, 3.7,
Oh,
3.8
okay, so
last
it's
week.
going down a little bit.
Well, we should probably make a motion. I'll make a motion to keep another month of rolling.
I'll second.
And I think the discussion Frank was asking was, is there a way that we can do a motion that, so we don't have to do a motion every month until we decide to change that?
We could
Is that
make
what I was-
we could make the motion to continue this,
Unless the board
unless-
deems,
Yeah, unless we deem that we want to make a change. I guess I just made that motion.
I'll second it.
So we still have a motion on the table though, so we gotta either make that an amendment or get rid of the other.
Right, so the motion on the table that I said, which was to continue it this month.
You'd like to make a friendly.
I would like to
amendment.
amend that to say to make it this month and going forward until we change our minds.
That I will second.
Any more discussion? Oh, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any nays? Excellent. Plaque for Rob Cunningham's years of service board dinner. So we talked about this last summer and never got there. I followed up with a call to him. And he said he would be honored if we still wanted to do that. The thing is trying to figure out a time and a process. I asked him for when, and he's not retired like a lot of us. Well, he suggested a Saturday, starting in June. And we did that. Here. I would think a Saturday the sooner would probably be the better before summer cranks up. How about for you ladies? How does that work? The 7th
June 7th.
as a something can we float that as a date?
I'm not in town on the 7th.
Okay. And I don't know, are you in town on the 8th?
No,
If-
we'll see on 7th through the 9th I'm in town.
Okay,
And again on the 21st and the 23rd.
Well, that leaves the 14th, huh?
Sorry, but if
Yeah.
you don't have to, I mean,
What?
don't work around me.
well, and 14th is Father's Day, is it? Or is it the 21st? It's Father's Day.
Well, 14th, it's Father's Day would be the 15th. It's the day before.
Yeah,
Father's Day.
it's the Derby that weekend.
It's
Yeah.
the Derby, yeah. So you're probably gonna be hung up. And are you working for guys?
I'm not going to be a waymaster this year, no. I may actually fish.
There you go. All right, well,
And the next 2 weekends I can't do it.
I never go
I've got
anywhere.
No,
a
you don't.
wedding coming up on the 28th and I've got the weekend before. and that
Yeah,
weekend tied up.
I know, he can't do May because he's taken off for 2 weeks and going south. So when do you leave in the first week of June?
I'm leaving on Saturday the 7th. I won't be back till Monday.
And is the Friday an option?
Friday is an option.
That works for Rob.
I'd have to check with it. We got that book.
Talking Friday the 6th.
Works for me, but don't plan it around me. Everybody else should be good first.
Friday the 6th. So if we did it on Friday the 6th, would we want? Does anybody want to float a time?
Late afternoon, maybe. Where are we gonna do it?
Well, my thought would be if we talk to the North Hero House, they get that,
Deer Bar?
well, they got the section inside
Oh, inside.
up there. Maybe there.
Yeah.
And if it's a dinner type thing, I don't think you wanna be there before 5.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they will serve it fine. But now there, if we want to make reservation, we have to give them a credit card to make a dinner reservation.
At the North Hero House.
Yeah. Everything just changed You go away for a little while, you come back.
It'll change, the Shore Acres did that, and then they lost so much business, they changed it back.
We'll see how it works out in the long run.
The town has a credit card.
What's that?
I said the town has a credit card. Is this gonna be a water board? event?
No, it's gonna be no money from the water board, so it was gonna be that we
We were just gonna pay for it out of our
We were
pocket.
gonna pay for it out of our pockets. But we were gonna float the bill for you guys to and split it up. Is that
That's,
correct? Is that?
Right, we were just gonna pay for it.
Wow, you guys are the volunteers. Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
yeah, because it's gratitude coming from our hearts.
Yeah. Well, and it would be, taking money from the.
And yeah, we're not gonna spend money that's
Yeah,
for operating the system.
All right, so Friday the sixth, let me look at that and let me also. Other dates in case Friday the sixth, Thursday the fifth,
Well, he said it would be Saturday,
I know he did, but
so we're getting close this Friday. I mean, it's almost Saturday.
yeah. So he's worried about the work night thing, so I think Friday might be, let me try Friday the sixth, and then, if that doesn't work, I will float days by Elisa.
Email's a beautiful thing.
you know. Are we good with that?
Yep.
And it's supposed to be a bring your spouse thing. So I'm thinking, should we get him out of there?
We'll see.
Tell him he doesn't have to dress up. All right,
Aprons are allowed.
okay. All right, SharePoint folder update. So. So I tried going in there, but it wanted a Microsoft. It wouldn't let me sign in from a,
yeah, it now requires multi-factor authentication. And it changes. So this is the difficulty I've had with trying to do procedures. And the effort to be safe, sometimes it says we will send you an email, sometimes it says type this code that we give you into the Authenticator app. Did you go through all these? Is that,
well, I read this stuff, but then when I tried to sign in. I'm an iPad,
Mhm.
iPhone guy,
Yep.
and it wouldn't,
yeah, we
I
have,
don't have a Microsoft.
yeah, no, Microsoft will work with Apple. We've got two members who are 100% Apple and they've logged in and they were fine until recently. So
But
there's,
they have a Microsoft account.
no,
Oh, okay.
they do not. No, and Lisa and I met recently with our IT company because we're getting ready to decommission our server and all of our files are gonna be on SharePoint. And they asked if we had concerns and I said, well, yeah, currently our guests, you all are considered guests in the system because we haven't bought your licenses are having trouble getting in. And when they do get in, it doesn't stick. And so I'm currently working with them on why that might be. I went back and forth today with the gentleman.
So
Yeah.
I would suggest that you tell them you want 2 levels of guest. You want a guest, which is other involved employee,
Officials.
officials, and then you have another one, which is anybody off the street that wants to look in.
That would be great, and that's what I want, and that's Microsoft will allow it. So we've enrolled in Microsoft 365. And Microsoft sets the parameters. So like when we first started this in 2020, when I was discussing the parameters with our IT professional, I said, I want our volunteers to be able to just click a button and get in. I want it easy, easy, easy. And they were like, no, 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 none of the safety stuff. And I'm like, everything's public access anyway, it doesn't matter. So they did set it up that way, but as Microsoft has changed their requirements, because people aren't electing these safety measures, they've decided they're required.
Hmm.
And that's part, I think, the issue when we're having people who are set up stuff behind the scene and the coding changes and then they can't get access and I fix that. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. That's just part of the issue. I mean, Larry, you're just trying to get in for the first time. You should be able to get in.
Well, I've been in before,
So
but when I
maybe,
tried to get in this time, it popped up with the Microsoft and wouldn't let me go from there.
Mhm.
I've got issues with other accounts as well, with this whole setup.
yeah, I mean, for them to try and keep up with the safety settings. I kid you not, it's like every week, all the coding behind the scenes changes. And if you're not in there all the time keeping up with it. And it makes you go through all the hoops that you went to log in the first time again, every time it does that. It's,
So my company uses an app called Duo. And it will either text you something or call you something or email, or it'll randomly generate a number
that's what the Microsoft Authenticator does.
on there.
So that was the first step in the procedures, was to download the Microsoft Authenticator.
But the Duo will work for anybody in the world, meaning it's not a so we're tied to Microsoft, which has been a pain.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, the issue is we're trying to do this for free. If the town wanted to pay $20 a month for everybody to have a license, we would not be having this issue.
$20 per person. per month,
Yeah, and there's 100 of us, when you
Yeah.
count all the volunteers and all the board members.
Yeah.
So right now, just the employees have licenses. We don't ever have issues. Well. I mean,
Good, so- No, I can always
But-
call you and get the document I need.
Well, so we're trying to, but it is set up to allow guests. I said this in our last call. I said, do you know of other organizations that are trying to operate like this? And they said, no. They said, most of the time when people are enabling guests, it's like a marketing company. They're working on one project. They enable guests for that one project. And then they're done. They move on. And so the issues of long-term stability have never really been tweaked through Microsoft.
Mhm.
So the simplistic question, and I'm sure you've already went there. Grand Isle, South Hero, what do they do?
So whether I don't want to speak off the cuff. I have a feeling it's similar because their costs are similar. So, the comparison is like Microsoft 365 versus Google. And you see Google predominantly in the schools and some healthcare settings, because it is a lot easier. The trade-off with that is safety. So everybody recommended to me, Vermont League of Cities and Town, our IT guy, they were all 100%, you want Microsoft. It comes with all the tools you want in an office setting. And it's considered safer. And the reason safer matters is for financial reasons. We have half the town's bank account information on file. So for direct debits, et cetera. So just because 95% of the information we have is open source, what we're protecting is that other 5%.
But even if we had the license, we wouldn't be getting into the financial part. right?
No,
I'll pass, same deal with Aldrich and Elliott, they have SharePoint files. And the only way I can get into it is I have to go back to the email that Alex sent me and click on the link.
Your original invite?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we have to resend it.
because I've tried, the same thing, I tried to save that as one of my favorites and get in that way and just do exactly what Larry just described. You gotta go through all the gyrations. And I talked to Alex today, he says, no, that's the way it's set up. The only way you can get into our SharePoint is to click on the link that I emailed to you, so.
But you can't save it as a
Yeah.
bookmark, right?
Right, no, you can't save a
Back to the
bookmark, doesn't
original
work,
email.
right? Only that link on his email works.
They want to know that you're authorized by the organization
Yeah.
because you're not a licensed user.
Right.
And that email
Yeah.
does that somehow. That makes sense to me, but. Yeah, I'm very frustrated. I think they're really gonna try because this whole setup on the SharePoint with the migration of the server kind of is based on this premise and they get it. They understand what we want and the system, it has the framework for it. You know, our goal is to try and get you guys as many tools as we can to make your job easier.
It's very, they're making it very difficult. I mean, I think their products are better than Google, but
Yeah, it's,
very difficult to work with. I have like 8 accounts, so just multiply what you're dealing with by 8.
Mm.
I mean, if
And that's
all
what
we're
I had to
looking
do.
at is our water board documents, how hard would it be to take those files and Dropbox?
mhm. I mean, there are other solutions. It's just. You'd like to keep it under the umbrella
Yeah.
of the
No, I
framework
understand.
that you have, yeah.
I understand. but-
Microsoft is basically designed for an organization where you're handed a device, it's company issued, and it has a license, it's all synced, and IT department has made it all work, and it just goes.
And they want you in their ecosystem.
Because you pay money.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it makes sense to me, they don't want 100 people in there
Yeah.
for free accounts using all of these services. But it is set up to allow it, so I'm trying to take advantage of it.
And we compliment you for that.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, you guys are the brunt of my experimentations, but.
What does the select board do?
They've never tried to get into SharePoint.
They've never tried to.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
No, DRB uses it a lot and they've never had issues. I can't figure that out. The CIP committee uses it heavily and they're having issues as well right now. Planning Commission's intermittent. Parks and Rec, their chair uses it a lot. Just because she really fully gets the whole Public Records Act and she doesn't want all the information stored on her computer. She wants everything she creates to be in a central location.
Mm.
And she's never come in with issues, so I don't know. It's interesting to me how some people, it's like a repeat and other people don't ever seem to struggle. The Community Hall Committee uses it.
Mhm.
I can't quite figure out, you know, the people who never struggle, what that common denominator is versus, like Jim Richards just can't ever get it to work and he's tried and tried. It's not lack of trying or tech.
But we did give your email addresses to VC3, those that we knew were having an issue. And we gave them
Mhm.
names and Jim Richards, so hopefully they'll come back with something.
Okay. All right, so we'll continue. Future agenda items. I think we keep the generic ones that we've had on there for a while. I think it'll be a briefing on the phase 2 30% meeting. We can add that, the Paquette Lane transfer, we need that up towards the top as an action item.
With a engineering map in the packet.
Yeah, and engineering, yeah, so we can put an engineering map with easement depiction.
I can follow up on that and see what he's got and what he needs, so make sure he's all set for our next meeting.
And C would be review of the policy and in a vote. Something like that, whatever comes out. It looks good. Otherwise, I think we need to be chatting about a timeline for the Route 2 water line replacement. That should be on there somewhere. which actually we have on there this one. There is a document, right?
Yeah,
There weren't any
that's what, that's how we
changes
know
to
we're
it.
at 30%.
Yeah.
There weren't any changes.
So we can, we'll keep that on.
So that would be part of the report on
Yeah.
the 30% mix.
All right,
We're gonna have end of year financial,
end of the year, yeah. Oh, geez.
end of the year, June 30th.
We'll be busy.
Yep,
Those need your
and
signatures.
you wanted the service line inventory on there again,
Yeah, follow up on that.
follow up on that, yep.
All right, anything else? Otherwise, entertain a motion.
The motion to adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Ayes have it.
First time I haven't been.
We adjourn?
Yes, we adjourn.